hell is that?
The Premier Lacrosse League.
I came in with my ex like Selena, the flex, bumping Justin Bieber, the fever, it left, she know what she need, or she blessed, giving you my best, yeah, I got my heart on my sleeve with a knife in my back, what's with that, 21, I love him, then my brother, that's my stack, Metro made the beat, so you know that it's gon' slap, yeah, it's gon' slap, time, run it back, talking to a diva, yeah, she on my nerves, she think that I need her, kick her to the curb, all I know is you could've had the world, yeah, you were my world.
Got these girls on my neck, got these girls on my track, like Selena, baby, on my cheating, baby, yeah. She taking a Lambo for a drive, it's in my fancy door, then she way out the store. I got my heart on my sleeve with the city on my back.
You want to know how you're going to bet the PLL playoffs? You've come to the right spot. Forget the platitudes. We're getting right into it. It's Newbie, Lloyd, and Brenny, and the playoff time is here, boys. So, Brenny, I know that it's been an up and down season for your Atlas, but they found a way to get it done, baby, and now they get to play the Cannons in round one. But, boys, playoff time now. I know you're hyped for it, Brenny.
Oh, man, I am so excited. I'm excited to be here. We have a lot to talk about today. My least favorite part is reflecting because we talked about an up and down year. I've been in the red a lot this year when it comes to the net profit plays. However, I've been heating up ever since. I literally didn't hit a pick for the first 4 weeks, maybe in 6 weeks. But ever since I won my Atlas bet against you, Newbie, I've been trending in the right direction. And big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And I'm really hoping that I'm a big-time PLL handicapper because it's now the playoffs, so forget all that other stuff. Let's ride.
Dude, and it's funny. You noticed how he slid that in there. He's like, when we went head-to-head and you had to buy my ass a jersey, I've been rolling ever since then. Yeah. Oh, you got the drip? We got to get that. Dude. We got to get that on the stream sometime here. So,
absolutely.
So maybe after the Atlas upset the Cannons this week, he'll come on wearing some Atlas. You don't want to jinx it. You know what I mean? Like you can't come on with it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the Atlas have lost 5 games in a row too, so wearing that now would make it good.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah. Lloyd, man, we tried to talk Brenny into the squad ride on the Chaos. We said there's no way that the Chaos aren't winning this game. There's against the Chrome. There's no way that the Chaos aren't covering this game. Bro, they absolutely rolled exactly how we said it would go. They got up early. Chrome kind of mailed it in. I mean, bro, Lloyd, we had that game nailed to a tree, baby.
Good stuff, guys.
We had it. That game was absolutely dialed from start to finish. It was one of those games that was already set in stone, and we just went with the motive. It was chalk. And that actually was the only game that I bet this weekend, but I took both bets because I remember telling everybody in the chat last week, actually back-to-back weeks now, that Lloyd's giving out a dub on this show, by the way, because told you we were talking about the under 22. And Newbie, and I know you're scared of the unders, but this guy might not be scared of the unders. This guy right here
broke my heart, dude. I want to bet the unders. Don't get me wrong. I want to bet the unders. I'm starting.
This guy over here, I love the unders, man. And that is where, last week would it be at 22 and a half. Yeah. I said last week, maybe we get an 11-5 win. Maybe we get, whatever the case is. And obviously Chaos came out there. They obviously covered the spread easy, but 13-7 and bye-bye Chrome for the year.
It's been all about cashing the tickets here on the back end. So hopefully we carry that into the playoffs. I know doing an amazing job behind the scenes. Our man Bryce already grabbed us. He's got the playoff bracket for us. So let's grab a look at that because we'll break down, what the odds are and everything. But the big thing for people to know is the playoffs don't reseed. So the way that you're looking at this right now, if Archers win and Atlas upsets Cannons, it's not like the Archers now, get to host and get to play against the 7 seed. They have to play whoever wins that 4-5 matchup. Right. I think this is something they need to change in the coming years. I think you should be reseeding. Whoever the top seed is should be playing the lowest seed. That's how everybody else does it. But regardless, this is how it's set. So I have a couple different ways that I'm betting it. But I guess I'll start with you, Lloyd, just now that we know who's playing who. I know that you have FanDuel's odds. I have DraftKings odds. So we'll talk about as far as, what we're betting. But just as far as the playoff brackets go, Dude, I look across this first round and I don't see any market. Hey, here's who I'm going to lay points with at least when I just do first glance.
Yeah. First glance is tough, especially the game that I kind of look at the most is that Chaos Redwoods game. That's the kind of the game I'm most excited for because I really do think the Chaos will have a chance to take on Archers and make that game somewhat close. They split during the regular season. Both teams, especially Chaos, kind of had a really bad second half of their season. And the Redwoods caught fire late, winning 3 in a row before last week. And, so that game I look at as one of those games that could really, I guess branch life into one of those teams. And if they get that dub early and kind of come into that game against Archers, could really be a game. But obviously Archers top dog, nothing new there. And kind of the rest of it's kind of, you would assume the Atlas will choke it away. And I do think Water Dogs Whip Snakes will probably be the best game of the weekend, but really excited to see what Chaos can do, especially against the Redwoods.
Well, and it's funny because Redwoods might be the higher seed, but the Redwoods are the underdog in that game, and rightfully so, just with what we've seen. And it's funny because they split their games this season. The only game that Redwoods were able to beat the Chaos in was when Blaze Reardon got announced out of the game, like right before the game started. So the goaltender didn't even go for Chaos. But it's funny, they split this year. The last 3 years, they played 6 times, 3-3 straight up in the matchups. So it's really been a, pick your poison zigzag type series. So Redwoods and Chaos standing out to him. Anything stand out to you just when you look at least the matchups? And then we'll talk spreads here, totals, all that good stuff.
So for me, sorry, my audio cut out there for a second.
Oh, you're good.
For me, guys, when it comes just straight up matchups, some of these games, if not all of them, are going to be battles in different ways, though. We talked about who is hot right now at the right time. And guys, the team that's hot right now is the team that's not playing this weekend. Yeah. These guys just don't lose, and it's the Archers. I think the rest of them are very toss-up-y outside of the nightcap, but I will argue, you told me not to talk spots yet, newbie. I think there's a lot of really good spots here when it comes to plus money underdogs on the money line and also taking points. I do agree with your statement when we first came on the show, though. I'm not seeing anything that I'm confident in laying points. And that really has been a thing on net profits all year, especially me and you, newbie. We haven't really done that all year. We know you like taking the goal and a half. And then ever since Lloyd's hopped on, he's been pretty dialed in with the money line. So we'll dive into the betting picks in a second. But matchups-wise, I think it's as good as it gets. I love this bracket. Obviously, the Atlas or the Wink Lake, but that's my team, so I'm not going to rip on them.
but the crazy thing is in this league too, it would not shock me if the 7 seed upset the 2, which is what we've seen.
Absolutely.
We'll get to that game. We'll get to that game.
Yeah. So I say, boys, let's get right into it and talk this Cannons and Atlas matchup. So if you head on over to FanDuel, Atlas are the 1.5 point underdogs. The money line, Cannons minus 200. However, at DraftKings, Cannons are 2.5 goal favorites in this one.
They really? Wow.
Yeah. Over at DraftKings, they're minus 200 on the money line, so same thing there. But Cannons are minus 2.5, which automatically gets me perking up. I know it's minus 140, but 2.5 in a playoff game, guys. Here's the question, and I'll ask you, Brenny. Do we think the Cannons could win by exactly 2 goals? And do I try and just or do I lay minus 200, take the 2.5, and say this will be a 2-goal, 1-goal game, and potentially get a middle and cash both of those tickets? Like is that me just getting too dicey? I should just pick my side.
I've never been a fan of the middle when it comes to pregame. We talk about live betting middles all the time. If you can get a middle at minus 110, minus 120, either on both of them, you don't want to get a minus 200, minus 110 juice. You're paying juice no matter what on both of those. Like, you need the middle to hit to obviously win 2 units. But if one of them misses, especially the minus 200 side, like, you're still losing money going 1-1. That's never really like a lot of money or a lot of units, I guess. But what I do really like, and I'll say it right now because I've been eager to say it, I'm obsessed with the plus 2.5. I looked on DraftKings. I saw it minus 140. That's not even a bad price for it either. I have to keep going with the Atlas at least one last time. If they get bounced, we went out riding the Atlas. I never gave up on them. I'm sad Rossi's not here to kind of be with me because we're kind of the 2 Atlas fans on this one. But, dude, I've been saying this to my friends for years now. This is a huge superstition. Minus 140 lines, do not miss. I'm telling you guys.
Wow.
super weird.
I've
Like,
never
I
heard a
don't
line
actually believe it, but, like, the
a
handicap
line trend.
A
line trend.
40 lines are money, guys. I'm telling you.
Because it's enough to keep people off.
Yep,
They don't want to eat the chalk, but it's not
totally.
like minus 140. Honestly, just like from a handicapping perspective, like when you get to minus 140, minus 145, I have to love a play because like that's my cap. Like that's the juice that I'm willing to lay. So yeah. At minus 140, I'm slamming that 2.5 with the Atlas because 2 and 2.5. Like we've only seen it 19 times the last 3 years. And it would be what 13 and 6, just blindly betting the 2.5. And now we're getting it in a playoff matchup, Lloyd. Like that 2.5 has to look juicy to you, even with the Atlas.
No, the 2.5 looks really, really good, especially with Atlas, of course. But the only play that I would think would be great in this game, and I know it's high, man, but it's the over at 26.5. It's at minus 104 on FanDuel. Here's the reason why. We talk about loving the 2.5, right? Well, the Atlas, in order to cover the 2.5, their defense has been really bad all season long. So there's no question there. And the point with the Atlas is in order to keep this game really close, they're gonna have to score a lot of goals to win this game. We got Cannons last 4 weeks, 15 goals, 14 goals, 15, 12, 16, 12, 19. This is a team that can score, man. So I look at that as like, if we can somehow get a 17-12 ball game, you're looking upside on the over will look absolutely great. And then if a chance, the cover to 2.5 would be excellent as well. But love the over, especially when it gets this high. You know, you have to ask the questions. Is it that high for a reason? Maybe so. I'll take the over 26.5.
I love that take.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And I love how you break it down. Like if the Atlas are to be in this game, it plays to an over, which I think is a great point there. And if you head on over to DraftKings, they're hanging at 25.5 in this game. So you can get an extra point. It's minus 130. So if you're not really crazy about the juice, I'm kind of with you. I think if it goes over 25.5, it's going to go over 26.5. Like this is either it's going to break your heart and go under, or there's going to be like 33 goals in this game.
Yeah.
You know
and the Cannons absolutely ripped the 2-point goal. So we know that as well. So there's a big factor into that too. So
I'll eat chalk on over 2.5 or over 1.5 2-point goals in this game too. Like I gave that out last week. They opened it up crazy juiced in the Cannons game and it's still cash. So
that one cashed. Okay.
That'll be a prop that I'm looking at. But yeah, man, I love both of those looks. 2.5 over. I can't really disagree. So it kind of seems like we're all seeing the same way on that one. So that's the 5 o'clock game. I guess we'll work backwards and talk whip snakes and water dogs. This one going at 2:20 Eastern time, and water dogs in this one. It's the first time they've ever been favored against the whip snakes. They're 1.5 point favorites taking on the whips. Water dogs coming off of beating the Archers. So now they're going to be the public darling. They're minus 140 on the money line though. Our man Brenny says minus 140s. They are automatic.
They don't miss.
Is that what you're doing in this one, Bryce? Minus 140. We just bet it, right?
Yeah, it's automatic. Hammer.
So this is actually really bad news, guys, because
oh no, here we go.
Because you said you like the whips heading into playoff time.
Yeah, and they've also lost 2 straight because they didn't win last week.
Yep.
I really should have looked at the other lines before I said that because I love the whips at plus 110. But minus 140 lines don't miss when I take them. So now that I'm fading it, I mean, I guess it does. It didn't make sense in the first place. It was just, a thing that when I take a minus 140 line, like Newbie said, you're kind of uncomfortable doing it because you're laying, like, for some people, it's a unit and a half, maybe 2 units. Like at minus 200 is like the max. You're getting into a chalky area there at minus 140. So I guess to make myself feel comfortable, I'm like, oh, it's minus 140 line. They don't miss. However, I am a fan of the whips here. But for me, guys, it's going to be a game time decision. This game isn't until Monday. I'm really going to have to see if there is line movement here because
agreed.
I really want to take the whips almost in like a rage or they've got to win. But they have lost 2 in a row. And I've been preaching all year to everyone in the show. I want teams that are hot at the right time, and the whip snakes are honestly cold at the worst time possibly right now. So I'm going to stick it out. I'll post it on TikTok later in the week if it does become a play, but for me, it's a sit out as of right now.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with him as far as just looking and seeing what people do, because if you do want to bet the whip snakes, I would be shocked. Most like recreational bettors, and that's most people who are betting the PLL. Like we're basically the sharps in the PLL. Like me, like my guy Hutton, like the people who are betting early and betting movable amounts. Guys like Krabs Bets, like Mikey Overs, like these are guys who are putting in big time bets and they're putting in their bets early. You know, I have to think the people who are going to be betting on this game are going to look at, oh, the Water Dogs just beat the Archers. They're peaking. When people bet, they're going to be betting Water Dogs on the money line. They're probably going to be laying -1.5. So would I rather get 110 with the Whip Snakes on a Tuesday plus 116 with the Whip Snakes on a Tuesday? Or would I rather wait until Monday morning once the Water Dogs get steamed up to like -160 on the money line and I'm getting like plus 125 or more on the Whips? Because I'm with you. I want to play them on the money line. I think this is going to be the upset of the weekend is the Whips over Water Dogs, but I'm not betting it on a Tuesday. Like that's. I think that's a great point by Brenny.
We're just almost a week away, guys. And
exactly.
You talk about reverse line movement all the time. That's what I've really kind of found expertise in, is tracking line movement, whether reverse, whether proper, whatever it is. When it comes to the NFL, you don't see a lot of reverse line movement in the Premier Lacrosse League because you don't see very inflated lines whatsoever. I mean, some of the highest money lines this year we've seen is like plus 150. That's literally like the highest money line outside of a Chrome game that was plus 200. So I would look for that. I think when push comes to shove, I am going to be kind of the sharp in my heart telling me it's a sharp play to take the Whips. I'll probably end up taking them, but like we said, we got to wait. Got to wait and see.
What do you think about that, Lloyd? Like, do you have anything? You're also our total guy here. So 24.5 is what we're looking at both books, both spots. So any thoughts on the total, or is this just kind of like a, hey, wait and get the number that you want, like what Brenny and I are thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is one of those games I think will be high scoring, but I don't 24.5 for these teams at this time of year. Again, Whip Snakes not looking great. Water Dogs coming off a big win, but I watched that entire Archers game. I can't sit here and tell you that was the best Archers team I've seen all season. Especially what they put on out there. You know, the past 4 weeks, we've seen them absolutely dominate. Almost like they kind of out there was like, it's all right, man, fuck it. It's whatever. So it's going to be one of those weird games. I'm staying off this game. I don't like it because, like you said, Newbie, one of these teams are going to go down this weekend. We're not going to get 3 favorites to outright move on. I don't think that happens. But again, it's tough for me with Chaos now being the favorite in that game. You have to look at the Whip Snakes as almost the only option, because unless you're taking Atlas at plus 160, the value there is the kind of the best you're going to get with Whip Snakes at plus 116. If you like the money line, that's on FanDuel, and the 1.5's at 134. The bite's not too bad. But as far as the over, maybe over. I don't know. I definitely like the over a lot more in that Cannons game than I do in this one.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, 2-point goal leaders. Whip Snakes have ripped 15 2-point goals. The Water Dogs are third with 12 2-pointers that they have sent home. So your boy's probably going to be on over 2-pointers in this game again, because I think, they're going to be flying. They're going to be out there ripping. So that's another one that I'm betting. And then another one early. I don't care what the number is. I'm going Dylan Ward over saves. This dude is an absolute machine. He cashes this almost in the first half every single week. So if they have 13.5, even 14.5, even if it's juiced to the over, give me Ward over on his saves. All right, boys, last game here, because then we got to get out of here. We got more shows on the channel here. So let's talk a little Chaos and Redwoods. We had the teaser in this one where the Chaos are 1.5-point favorites. And looks like that's the same across both books there. It's plus money if you want to lay it with them. Money line pretty much split, a customary minus 115 for Chaos, and total in this one 23.5, 24.5 over at DraftKings. This is an under game, I think, if I ever saw it, boys. Like I think they're going to be struggling to score in this one. So I don't know. What do you think, Brenny? You kind of looked incredulous when I was saying under. You like, newbie, don't come on here and tell us unders again. Let Lloyd handle the unders.
Maybe it was a little bit of that involved. I'm just going to go straight up with the Chaos here, guys. This is playoff lacrosse. Chaos have the best goalie in the league. They have the goalie that represents the United States in the World Games. Blaze, he's going to have this defense ready to play. So that does make me like the under a little bit. I said I would never take an under in the Premier Lacrosse League. There's too much talent. The shot clock is too short. It's such a bang-bang game. But I will ask you guys, newbie, you're more into just lacrosse as in general than Lloyd is. He's new and he's been killing it when it comes to net profits. But do you think that the game, obviously the shot clock is a lot shorter in the PLL than the college game. So like the face-off is so much more valuable in the college game. Do you think play styles this week come Monday in these 3 playoff games is going to be any different? Like, are they going to be tighter with the ball? Is there going to be more set designs? Or are they just going to play free as they always do?
I think it's a case-by-case basis. The teams that go out there and rip the ball around like the Water Dogs are going to do that. In this game, 2 teams who are familiar with each other. You got Josh Byrne back. I think possessions are going to be really important in this game.
That's what I was thinking in this one, because it's
taking
not
shots
like
late in the clock.
Because the Archers and Dogs,
it's not a track meet.
They can start their possession inside of 15 seconds on the shot clock, and they just have the skill and the ball movement to get a quality look off. These teams, it feels like they play, all together and they're more defense oriented, and then they get on the break, run, bang, bang, goal. I think this one has actually, you guys have almost talked me into the under. I've almost talked myself into it, but I will be playing the chaos on the money line.
Yeah. Lloyd, thoughts on this one, brother? Because I know you teased it a little earlier. Sounds like you're looking the same way.
Yeah, same way, man. I mean, this is, like you said, these are 2 teams that know each other very, very well, split in the regular season, split really the majority of the career time that they've played each other. We're going to be going under, blazing net, man. And this is just, I've been a chaos guy from the start. I mean, so that's just kind of how I'm rocking in Redwoods, obviously. Yeah, man. I'm kind of sad to see that they're favored in this game. Thought I could really get a different, a plus money ticket in the back of my pocket. But if I can't, I'll take minus 115 if you're going to hand it to me, because it's just better. I think plus 118 maybe, but this game should be close, low scoring. Like we said, money lines to play at minus 115.
All right, boys, before we sign off here, Archers are already signed, sealed, delivered into the semifinals. We know they'll be either playing the Redwoods or the Chaos. Kind of sounds like we all think it's going to be the Chaos. Do we think the Chaos beat the Archers in 1 week? If that's the matchup, do either of these teams, you think, with a week off, can either of them beat the Archers? What do you think about that, Lloyd?
Man, I don't know. I'm probably going to say no. I said last week on the show, my favorite future that's going out right now was Archers to defeat Cannons, plus 900 on FanDuel for everybody that wants it out there. I just think this offense is so special. The 3-headed monster that they got is unlike we've seen anything else in this entire league all year. And Chaos, I know blazing net, but I mean, they showed them before, and I think that they probably do it again, and they cruise to the finals.
What about you, Brenny?
I'm just going to come on here and fill out the bracket, guys. It's going to be the Whip Snakes versus the Archers in the final, and the Whip Snakes are going to be your PLL champions.
Oh, wow. Juicy.
Guys, I got to stick with the Snakes. I'm sorry. If they win this week, I don't see anyone beating them in the second round, and then obviously the same with the Archers. They're going to be rested. They're going to win that second round matchup no matter who they play. Great offense beats good defense. That's why I got the Archers obviously cruising into the championship, but the Whip Snakes with a little upset magic. I don't know, guys. The Chaos were supposed to be the worst team in this. I mean, the Cannons were supposed to be the worst team in the league this year. I think that could be an early round upset, whether it's the first to my Atlas. Either way, I got the Whips over the Archers. That's my take.
And for all the
plus 1,300 at
just FanDuel. About to say, just for all the homies that want it, man, it's a juicy play.
I love that. And I love that you guys both broke that down because we're going to sign off here in just a minute. But if you're looking to bet a future, head on over to FanDuel because you can bet name the finalists and you can bet exact outcome. It's a little bit, needle in the haystack kind of bet. But rather than just taking a team plus 200, plus 450, plus 500 to win, take the teams that you think are going to be in the finals, look at the bracket, how it shakes out, and you can get a way better return on your money. And if you take the team that's going to be favored, you can always hedge out by taking the dog in the finals if you get both of the teams in there. So I love the breakdowns, boys. I'm right there with you. That's Brenny. That's Lloyd. I'm Newbie, and we will be cashing tickets here on Net Profits through the playoffs. We'll see you next time.